Well, good morning, everybody. One of the great labor hymns in history is a song called "Which Side Are You On?" And for his entire career, Dennis Kucinich has made it abundantly clear that he is firmly on the side of Cleveland's workers. And we are here this morning to announce that as Dennis runs for mayor of Cleveland, that we're on his side too. Dennis Kucinich is somebody who has had a 100% labor record in the United States Congress. There is never anything that workers have asked him to do that he hasn't done. He has been a phenomenal and just really a game-changing leader, not only for Cleveland, but for the country. A man who has proven himself time and again to be ahead of his time. I don't think there's anybody in this room who is the same person they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. We all change, we all grow, we all develop better skills and new experience. And that is certainly the case for Dennis, but one thing that has never changed is his moral compass. It has always been true north. And we know that this year, with an open election for mayor of Cleveland, that there is a generational opportunity to firmly plant the flag of working people, not only for workers, but for all citizens of the city of Cleveland at Cleveland City Hall. And for us, the choice in this race is clear. And I am here today, we are all here today, my brothers and sisters in labor, to endorse wholeheartedly our friend, our former congressman, Cleveland's favorite son, and the next mayor of this city, Dennis Kucinich.
Thank you very much, Dan O'Malley, and thanks to the members of the Federation who are represented here, who collectively represent over 50,000 people in the city of Cleveland. I consider this a decisive endorsement. There is no other organization in this city that has the impact of the AFL-CIO. Collectively, their members will determine the next mayor of the city of Cleveland. So this endorsement is significant in and of itself. But let me share with you why it means so much to me personally. I was raised in a family that respected organized labor. My father was a truck driver. He was a member of Local 407 for 35 years. And he loved being in a union. He took me to some of his early meetings, and where he used to get those little colored buttons that would go on the caps to say that you paid your dues. And he paid his dues. And through the years, I came to appreciate the importance of working men and women. And when I got into a position to take a stand for working men and women, I stood firmly on the principles which bring us all together. And what are those principles? It's the right to organize, the right to collective bargaining, the right to strike, the right to decent wages and benefits, the right to a safe workplace, the right to be able to sue if you're injured on the job and the workplace isn't safe, the right to a secure retirement, the right to be able to participate in the political process. These are fundamental rights in a democratic society. And at every level of government that I've had the privilege to serve, I have felt it my obligation to take a stand on behalf of working men and women who built this community and who together we will rebuild this community, because we're about jobs and good wages and we want to see Cleveland prosper. And so I accept this endorsement with humility, with a great deal of gratitude, with a determination to serve the best interests of working men and women. And we shall have that flag of labor planted on top of City Hall. And we will let people know everywhere that City Hall belongs first and foremost to the working men and women of this community, to the retirees, to all those who have paid their dues. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll take some questions. I want to just mention, first of all, we have a great cross-section of labor leaders here today and rank and file workers as well. I want to acknowledge Leonard DeCosimo from the Cleveland Musicians Union, representing hundreds and hundreds of Cleveland Orchestra, Playhouse Square, itinerant musicians. Greg McCoy is here from the Utility Workers Union, Local 270. William Nix is from the Amalgamated Transit Union, representing the workers at RTA, Local 268. I want to acknowledge our Federation President, Darrell Bell, here. Darrell is also the president of the American Federation of Government Employees, Local 31. And we have Ilona Simon and Sandy Baxter also from Local 4. And Rochelle Wilson is here from Workers United, who they represent, among others, hotel employees, restaurant employees, and also represented the workers at Hugo Boss, where Dennis stood strong with us to save those jobs for as long as we could. And we were successful in that campaign. And there are people who worked for many more years thanks to the work of Workers United and Dennis Kucinich and many other friends in labor. You know, we have so many priorities here in organized labor, like passing the PRO Act at the federal level, like making sure that every worker has a right to organize and has safety and dignity and protection on the job. But we know that elections matter because it's going to dramatically impact our membership. As Dennis mentioned, we have over 50,000 voters in union households here in the city of Cleveland. And we have some very, very union dense parts of the city as well. And you know, it's going to be really important, I think, for us to let our members know who has stood with us time and time again and what's at stake in this election. And that's why we're proud to stand with our friend Dennis. Take any questions you have.
I got two quick ones, Stan. First, can you describe the endorsement process? Did you guys vote, or how do you come by the endorsement?
We have a very open and democratic process here at the AFL-CIO. We have been soliciting input from our unions for many months, really since I became executive secretary back in January. Our executive board reviewed all of the candidates who sought our endorsement, and I'll acknowledge that we have several friends who were running. But the recommendation of Dennis Kucinich was then ratified by our delegate body, which is about 400 plus members from every one of our 146 affiliates, and they get X number of delegates depending on their size, and so they voted on Wednesday night to, and by the way, you cannot get endorsed here with a plurality or even a simple majority. There needs to be labor unity. You have to get over 2/3 to get endorsed by the North Shore AFL-CIO, and Dennis well exceeded that number.
Great. And then beyond the principles that Dennis did a great job articulating, are there specific controversies or issues in the city of Cleveland that's important to your membership that you can describe you think Dennis would be a champion for?
Well, I don't know about controversies, but I can say this. We, our members, particularly those who work for the city of Cleveland, work hard every single day. They view public service as a calling. The residents of the city depend on them. They are providing vital services like those who work in the health department, making sure that our water is clean, making sure that our streets are clean, making sure that refuse gets picked up. And it's, and to say nothing of the teachers in our schools and our first responders as well. And, they deserve at the very least, when they respond to that calling, to be treated with dignity and respect. And it's a real shame in government when you have political leaders, elected leaders, who don't treat people that way. And we know there's no chance of that happening with this person. Our endorsement is really all about our members. It really is. It's about who's going to best represent our members. And we know that if there's a strong labor movement in the city of Cleveland, that there will be a strong city, strong neighborhoods. It's no accident that the most union-dense parts of this city are those which are flourishing the most. And it's because those workers have dignity on the job. They're able to collectively bargain for their wages and their benefits and their working conditions. And it's too bad that we don't have more politicians who get that, but this guy gets it.
Well, the question for Dennis is, what do you think that labor needs out of City Hall right now? What would you provide them?
A voice, a heart and soul that comes from the sensibilities of working men and women, a willingness to take a stand to defend the rights of working men and women, the desire to implement policies that are favorable to the economic rights of working men and women. When I talk about creating a workers' city hall, I'm talking about not only looking at the economic rights of people, but I'm talking about social justice. I'm talking about racial justice. I'm talking about the very things that the organized labor movement has grown up working for in America. The idea that people have a right to a better life, and the only way you can get it is to come together in an organization and speak your just demands. Working people always want a place at the table. They want a place at the table at City Hall. When I'm mayor, you have the table. And it's an opportunity to be able to state what is just and right. And together, we will work to make this community prosper evermore, to bring jobs here, to create new businesses, to create the economic opportunities we all want, to build up wages. This is what we're all about. But it must start with a fundamental understanding of the basic economic rights of people around which is built the organized labor movement. And I understand that from the time I was a child. Thank you. Anyone else? I think we're...
That's it?
Will you guys be doing any coordinated get out and vote activities or any future things planned for the campaign?
Absolutely. We'll be working very hard to communicate this endorsement to our membership immediately and throughout the course of the campaign. We stay in regular touch with our members, and we'll be communicating with them on every platform about this endorsement and why we feel it's the right choice for our membership. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.